Hey everybody, I apologize for being late tonight. Going to wait a few minutes here and see if we can get some more people online. And huh? Yeah. Let's just say everybody, Grayson. Hey everybody, just want to say I apologize for being late. The weather is very, very bad. Um, it's been a crazy day. It took a long time. There are police everywhere from Rincon all the way through Rincon to Port Wentworth, I-95, Pooler, all the way down Quaco. It's really bad. I want to give some shout outs real quick. Thank y'all for waiting. I'm so sorry. Lester, sir, hope you and your lady are doing well. Looks like Brother Dave, how you doing? Hope you and your lady are doing well. Carolyn, what's happening? Lester, sir, yes. I'm hoping tonight will be worth the wait. There's my brother from another mother, Shannon. Me and him grew up in Georgetown together since we were about 8 or 9 years old. Robert Madrano. So, got to get some shout outs real quick. So, if y'all notice, I'm wearing some new swag. Y'all like my hat? Let me get a close up. Pretty nice. I like it. I got a new shirt made by Brother Robert Madrano. Here's the patch with his company on it. I might have to flip it, but it's Embroidery City Incorporated. It's 912 Apparel. Brother Robert, if you would, please put your information up there for anybody that needs embroidery or screen printing. Brother Robert is the man. Him and his lady Anna came out and saw us. We shared some Low Country Bowl with them, with my nephew's party. Check this out. Look at the shirt. Isn't it cool? I love the color, man. I love the color of the shirt. I don't know if you can really see it. Doesn't pop. And look, he surprised me with this shirt. So I thought it was pretty awesome. So tonight we're going to talk about some stories. We've got, I'm going to give away one of these hats, courtesy again of 912 Apparel, Embroidery City. So somebody is going to get one of these hats tonight. Also, we're going to be giving away, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3 patches, and I'm going to show you what they look like. It's not Scaremaster patches, but they're COVID-19 patches that he made. So I want to give a shout out to Robert for doing that. I got 3 of them, so we'll give those away too. And then like the grand prize will be one of the hats tonight. And then we'll have some other stuff later on, not tonight, but next weekend. So Brother Sean Cochran, got to give you a shout out. You and Lady Amy. Let's see who else. Moody's there. Shannon Bell. Hope you and Jimmy are doing well. Cindy Hawking. Tim is there. What's happening? Good. I'm glad everybody's doing good. Everybody's liking the shirt. Brother Ray, how you and your lady doing? Brother Chandler, what's happening? Hat is awesome. Yeah, he did a good job, didn't he? Let's see here. Robert Madrano says Embroidery City, 912-660-5639. Drew Carroll's also watching. So here we go. So I had something planned tonight to really talk about that, was going to be a little shocking and everything, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Again, anything that happens, this is the first time, like, I couldn't sleep last night, and I got up really early, and I know y'all heard me talk about dead time. Dead time is at 3 a.m. Supposedly that's the most haunted time to do anything as far as spiritually or supernatural. That's supposedly when it's most active, is around that time. And also 3 has to do a whole lot with the Holy Trinity, with the church and the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, all that. So it's supposedly the time when something happens. I'm not going to get real religious on you, I promise. But that's what it supposedly has to do with it, and they kind of mock that time. Kind of like whenever you go into some of these places, and like, remember the knocking of the 3 times, the Labyrinth of Scottish Rite? You'll see people in a lot of these shows, like the Travel Channel, they get scratched, and they always have 3 scratches. Again, they're mocking the Holy Trinity. So, really, really creepy stuff. Drew Carroll, I'm glad you're watching, brother. It says he always watch the videos and have downtime down the road. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I will keep doing it as long as y'all keep watching and allow me to. A couple more shots out real quick. I got to give Tim and Cindy Hawking a big shout out. They purchased the green screen so that we can give you a more professional show. Again, a lot of people were asking, hey, what can we do to help? You know, and people are helping. I want to give a shout out to my dad, Papa Smurf. He bought a new camera that has night vision. So now I believe we have 3 cameras. We're good to go there. Don't need any more cameras for now. We've got 1 EVP recorder. A person wanted to be anonymous. I said, okay, no problem. But we need 1 more EVP recorder. And then, of course, a big shout out to my homeboy, Lusher Sir, Buddy Grayson, and his lady Laura. They purchased the Ghost Box. Now, what is a Ghost Box? So a Ghost Box is pretty much it plays through like radio vibrations and things, and it makes this loud, weird noise. You've probably seen them on Ghost Adventures, the Ghost Hunters, all those channels. A lot of them will have one, and it makes a noise, and Moody hates it. It's like, you know, it does like that. Yeah, she hates it. Moody, give us Sasquatch yell real quick. If you ain't gonna do it right, I'm not gonna ask you anymore. So the Ghost Box, supposedly, you know, it makes that noise, and then words will kind of pop in. You know, it'll say a phrase. It'll say, but it don't say like whole sentences, but it'll be like, you know, it'll be like, hey, you know, is anybody here? And it's not like an EVP recorder. This is something that's like live right then. You can hear it come through the box. So if someone, like when we start doing that and you say, hey, is there anyone here? And it'll say, you know, yes, you know, or something like that. So while we're recording, you'll be able to hear this as we're hearing it, which is pretty cool. The EVP recorders, again, remember, EVP stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon. Now, we are not professionals at ghost storytelling, at history, at ghost investigations. You got to be careful doing this. I do understand. You know, there was a lot of stuff. Hold on, let's just Buddy Grayson. Something's getting worse. I'm sorry if something's getting worse. Sheila, how you doing? Let's see, Scott Cribbs, glad you're watching. So the Ghost Box, we talked about the EVP recorder, electronic voice phenomenon. So what that is it's like a little mini voice recorder, and we will be able to get, I know what you're talking about getting worse. Her Sasquatch yells, yeah. I'm gonna have to take off the belt.
Really, Ralph?
So, hey, can I get some water, please? Sorry. Just a little hoarse today, which reminds me, so before I get started, there's a pony walks into a bar. Bartender says, what do you have? The pony says, just some water. I'm a little hoarse. Okay, so an EVP is basically when you record it, you know, you ask the questions, hey, is there anyone here? Is there anyone that would like to speak to us? Whatnot. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sorry, I needed some water. So you'll be able to play it back. And then here, of course, you hear whoever's asking a question, you know, hey, is there anyone here? And then, you know, play back, yes. And we can record that and then play it back and save it. So it's really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. So getting back to, you know, I told Moody for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you know, I've been having weird dreams, like really, really, really weird dreams. And some of them's been pretty frightening. I'm not talking about, you know, you show up at school naked type frightening. I'm talking about like, I don't know. I've seen some stuff in my dreams that's just kind of scared the crap out of me, if it makes sense. In my dreams, I don't know. So one of the things I was going to talk about tonight, I think I'm gonna hold off. It just kind of freaked me out. So I'm not really prepared to talk about that yet until I, you know, make sure, you know, I can get with somebody and make sure there's nothing that's trying to attach to me from telling these stories or something like that, because I take it real serious. Sorry, I keep moving the hat there. I want y'all to see that. So I want to talk about some other stuff. So I did find some information out about the Tybee Pier. The Tybee Pier that was built way back when and burned down in like 1960s, that pier did have a roller skating ring there. And they had like a bowling alley on it too, like right across from it and stuff on the second floor or something. So it was some pretty interesting stuff. I was able to get some pictures. We'll post those. But again, I have people kind of inbox me stories about the Tybee Lighthouse, and everybody is still talking about there's a little girl at the lighthouse. She's probably 5 or 6 years old, and she tries to hold your hand when you get up at the top of the lighthouse. True, I don't know. Me and my fat butt trying to climb up all them stairs, I don't know if it's going to happen, so I may have to have somebody go up there and climb up them stairs so that we can check it out. And see if it's true, see if, you know, and maybe bring my little nephew or somebody like, who's like 9 or 8 or something, and see if something tries to happen. See if he says, don't say anything, but just see if, or have some other people go and see if they see anything or feel anything. You know, lighthouses are spooky anyways because they're so old. Had somebody, again, verify the story about Highway 80 going to Tybee. Let's see, Sean says they are volunteering to climb the lighthouse. Okay, sounds good. Once this equipment and everything comes in, we'll be good to go. Megan Crosby, I'm glad you're here. Remind me to kill you later. Melanie's here. So again, for those of you that didn't watch last night, we talked a lot about Tybee and some other cities and stuff. So Tybee, accordingly, there's, if on Highway 80 when you're traveling down, there's a man and a lady who supposedly siblings or something, who were abused and they got killed or something, and then they try to climb in the car with you, and they try to harm you. I had a person today inbox me and said that it was true, that about 2 years ago they were visiting Savannah out at Jacksonville, and they were staying down over by the Sandfly Bar or something, not Sandfly Bar, the Sand something bar, Sand Dollar Bar or something like that. So anyways, they were staying across the street from there. They said there was like a little nice restaurant. They I can't remember exactly what he said, over by the rock something. Anyways, long story short is they said that they were coming back from downtown from having supper. It was about 11 o'clock at night, maybe 11:15, and she said when she looked to the right, she saw the lady, and before she could say anything and looked over at her husband, the man, while they were at stopped at the red light, was trying to get into the car and like trying to reach at him. So weird stuff. I've never had anything like that happen to me on Highway 80 going there. Some freaky stuff. We'll check it out. Looks like Chris Bragg is here. Hey, man. Hope you're doing well. You and Jennifer and all the kids. So I was doing some other research. And, there's Portal, there's Statesboro, there's Brooklet, Georgia. So the big surprise also tonight was me and Moody was going to head down to Ghost Road and do it live from there tonight, but it's raining really bad, and it rained on us all the way when we got home. So that got canceled. I apologize. I wanted to surprise y'all and be like, hey, this is where we're reporting from, but it didn't happen. So again, I apologize. Again, if anybody knows anything about those Ellabelle stories, let me know. Anybody seen any good horror movies lately? There's some good horror movies coming out. Again, I've talked about Frankenstein's Army. I haven't been able to find out in a while. Now, we did talk about Yeti, and we talked about, like the Abominable Snowman and Bigfoot and stuff like that. We have done that. There's one show, and it's not a show, it's true. You can Google it, but it's about these 9 hikers from Russia, and they were hiking through the mountains, and they weren't seen for a while, for like 3 weeks or something. They looked for them. They were supposed to report back and everything. Long story short is one of them was writing in her journal that they kept seeing somebody follow them, a big tall creature. I think one of the last photos that they snapped, it looked like a Yeti. Again, I believe in all this stuff. Y'all don't, I understand, but it's cool. But so, long story short is they were sleeping, but when they finally found them, they were separated. Some had made it to one little section of the woods where they were running, but they had like they were in like night clothes, like they had no shoes on, they had no jackets, and this was dead of winter. It's like 10 degrees outside, maybe 5 below or something. So it's really, really cold is what I'm getting at. When they did find some of the corpses that was buried from the snow and stuff and everything, when they dug them up, a lot of them were missing, like, their eyes. I think one of them had his tongue ripped out. Others had body parts broken in every which ways. But they had to wait, I want to say, like a week or so for them to thaw out before they could even do all this. But some of them died right there. The tents was all ripped to shreds, but they were ripped to shreds like they had ripped to escape from there, like something was attacking them. So check this out. It's about the 9 hikers. I wish I could remember the actual name, but it's a true story. It's unsolved to this day. And I think the government kind of shut it down over there in Russia. So pretty interesting stuff. So Sean Cochran, he Googled it for me. It sounds good. It says the Dyatlov Pass incident. Yes, that's exactly the name of it. It's Russian, so it's hard for me to remember. February 1st and 2nd, 1959 in Russia. Yes, check it out. Very, very interesting. Real quick, some other ghost stuff here that we want to talk about coming up besides movies and shows and things. Again, watch The Fear of the Woods. There was an episode, somehow I missed it, and was watching it today to try to kind of get in the mood. And there was about these guys who, when they were playing hide and go seek in the woods and stuff. And there's a lot of stories like this of people playing hide and seek, or playing war in the woods and always seeing things. But a lot of them had this story here. They had something kind of attach itself to them. It's pretty creepy. And it reminded me of a story. So my grandparents lived at over off Apache Avenue. It was on the corner of Apache and Mohawk. It was old dirt roads back and forth. There was no paved roads back then. And this was back by what we used to call the old house. And y'all have heard me talk about this sometimes. It's pretty spooky. There was a bunch of woods back there. They say there were some bodies buried back there back when they used to run moonshine and stuff or whatever. There's some stories about people being beaten for moonshine and not paying for moonshine, or not producing good moonshine, and other stories about this is a really long time ago, and I don't believe this was my family that did this, because my grandpa, he just wasn't like this. He was a really good man, and if he was alive today, he'd be 121. So but him and his brothers, they worked the chain gang again at the Browns farm at Lake Mare. But supposedly there's some bodies buried out in those woods back there. We could never confirm this. Some of them were black, some of them were white. So I don't think that whoever was doing this was discriminating. It's on the corner of Apache and Mohawk. And so the old house, of course, was still there. And then they built what we call the new house, which was kind of one of those Jim Williams homes. A lot of freaky stuff happened there when we were kids. And even when we were growing up as teenagers and adults. I can remember my Aunt Jackie and my Uncle Jeff. My Uncle Jeff passed away. When I was probably 6 or 7, there was no street lights back then on the lights, and back then, and they're only a little bit older than me, but they all wanted to have some fun. So they were probably 12, 13 years old, and I'm 6 or 7. And they said, let's go catch some frogs. And, you know, to me being a kid, okay, let's go catch some frogs. So we're walking down this dirt road. I mean, it's pitch dark. There's woods everywhere. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people on there. And when we're going through there, they decide they said, you know, Bloody Bones or Moss Man, and took off running and left me standing there. And I can remember looking around and I had no idea where I was. So I'm running back. And while I'm running back, I promise you not, when I was running back to the old house, that I could hear them around back. And when I ran around back to the other side back there was nobody there. I kept hearing somebody call my name. And so my nickname growing up, for a lot of y'all that don't know, it's a weird nickname. You know, they call me Boo. They call me Boo Boo. They call me Boo Berry. So yeah, it was really weird when I brought Moody to a family reunion, and they were like, "Hey Boo Berry," you know, "Hey Boo Boo," you know. So a lot of y'all, if y'all ever hear my mom call me that or something, or my aunts or cousins, that's why we all have nicknames. All me and all my cousins. There's Peanut, there's Pookie Pie, there's Cricket. You know, there's a bunch of us. So, anyways, back to the story. So I heard somebody say, "Hey Boo," and I thought for sure it was either my Aunt Jackie or my Uncle Jeff, and it wasn't, and I couldn't see anybody. So then I heard some stuff going on around front, and when I came around front, they jumped out of the back of my grandpa's truck, and he had this old yellow Ford, and they were in the back there, and I said, "What took you so long?" So they had been back there, and I said, "Were y'all in the back? Did y'all call me?" And they said, "No, we've been waiting here for you for about 10, 15 minutes. So they were the only ones there at the time, and my grandpa at night was there, but he was asleep. He went to bed real early. So that's one story that freaked me out. The other story is me and all my cousins, when we would kind of spend the night there, me and my cousin John, Joe, and Peanut, and Pookie Pie, and everybody, and Angel, whatever. So there's nothing to do back then. We used to have dirt bomb fights. So remember when the tractors used to come and grate the roads? Well, we would run out there and grab the dirt bombs, have dirt bomb fights, and throw at each other. That was about the only fun we would have, other than playing softball or football, you know, in the middle of the road, and you have to move when the cars were coming. But we would always play either freeze tag, blind man's bluff, or we would play hide and go seek. You know, of course we play Red Rover, but you know, you get tired of getting clotheslined after so long, and you always clothesline the person you didn't like. So we would play in the woods, because playing hide and go seek out there in the front of the yard or whatever in the back, you know, it wasn't easy. There wasn't that many hiding places. So we would go around back and hide in the woods. I can remember one time my cousin come running out. I was the one hiding, and he come running out, and I said, you know, "You're it." I went and grabbed him. I said, "Hey, you're it." And he flew past me, and I was thinking, that was weird. So I go hide to figure out where some other people are, and I just hear a whole bunch of it sounds like gunshots, and I just hear a big like thump. I didn't know what it was, so then all of a sudden I seen all my other cousins just take off running. And you know, back then we used to play, if you tagged the base, then you were safe. So they took off running, I was running, but my cousin, who had ran past me, was just a crying, and I remember my other cousin saying, you know, "What happened? Well, did you step on something? You know, step on a nail? You know?" And we hated that, because then you had to go get a tetanus shot. And he said, "No." He said, "I was standing there, and I thought it was one of y'all, and I was whispering, 'Hey, psst, come here.'" He said, "And when the man turned around," he said it was a man, he had no eyes. He had no eyes in his eyes. So that was one of the stories. So we quit playing hide and seek after that. It just freaked us out. But I can always remember either staying in the old house or staying in the new house. You stayed in the back rooms. You always heard crazy like stories, and you always saw shadows in the houses and stuff and everything. I don't know why, but it was so creepy and eerie. I will tell you that my cousins, because they lived right around the corner, they lived down, so you know where Savannah Mall is. So right before you get there is like Hidden Lake. Hidden Lake is right there on the corner. That used to be a dump. That's where everybody dumped their trash. And when we were kids, we would run down there and go through the stuff and find old toys, you know, old Stretch Armstrongs and stuff and everything, and just have a ball with it. Well, they lived right around the corner from that where Savannah Mall is now. And where the carousel is, where the horses are, the little merry-go-round in Savannah Mall. So they lived right there. Right across from there was a nursery that had, you know, plants, all kind of stuff and everything. And that was the only thing really that was on that road. The nursery and that dump where everybody dumped their trash. And then there was an old house back there. And so right where they are, we would stay in the house back there, and it was creepy. It was, and when it got dark, it got dark. And I can remember growing up there all the time, us being asleep, and, you know, back then, you know, you slept 3 to a bed or 4 to a bed. That was always common. And I can remember somebody always tapping on the windows, and we thought it would be one of the other cousins or something, but he didn't get out of bed because my Uncle Horace, who was married to my mom's sister, he was very, very mean, and he would beat you. He would beat these kids. And I apologize to any of my relatives listening to this, especially the two whose daddy that was. He was just a mean man. I'm sorry. He was mean. You know, but you didn't get out of bed, and he drank a lot, and so he would always be in there watching wrestling. And when we would want to go watch wrestling, no, you know, it wasn't happening. So, you know, we would have to go to bed by 9, 10 o'clock, and you better not be in there giggling and talking, because they need to come in a belt, and you try to get on the covers, and you start beating you. So, you know, we didn't do that, and we were all in one room. It was like a 2-bedroom house. So all the girls would be in one bed, and all the boys would be in the other. And you didn't giggle and stuff like that, but you whispered a lot. But you'd hear the tapping on the windows, and that happened a lot. That's where the story, the Moss Man, when I first heard about the Moss Man. So they said, hey, you know, there's a story about a Moss Man out here. The Moss Man supposedly was a serial killer or something way back in the 30s or 40s back there, and used to kind of lure people back there and murder them or something. So I don't know if that was ever true, but I remember us being kids, we never stayed out really late because of it. But that is one of the stories there, and I was reminded that by one of my relatives who said, hey, tell them about, oh, I'm sorry, Shadow Cat, excuse me, Shadow Cat, sorry about that, that's a Shadow Cat coming to see his dad. So they reminded me about it. I was like, oh God, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot. Anyway, sorry about the butt in the face there.
Hey, you need me to get him?
Huh?
You need me to get him?
No, you ain't got to get him. I apologize about that, everybody. So I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, the Moss Man. So that's one of the other things I'm going to be checking out is the Moss Man. Hey, Shadow. God, I lost my train of thought where I was going with that.
Shadow.
I'm so sorry. No, Shadow's all fine. He's fine. So, let's see. Buddy Grayson says, are you kidding? You will now forever be known as Booberry at the temple. Yep. How am I doing? I'm doing well. Thank you, Trevor. I appreciate you asking. Corey Conway's watching.
Lay down,
So,
Shadow.
guys, I'm sorry, man. This is funny. I'm sorry. Shadow Cat usually sleeps with me at night. He must be tired because it's storming outside, so he must be scared. Anyways, so Shadow Cat's going to help tell me another story here. Moss Man, yeah. So back then we would always hear tapping and stuff on the windows. You always saw what seemed like lights in the back. Again, there was nothing in the back there. Yeah, you had to park in the front when you came through the house. You parked by the front, and the house was up on like these big cylinder blocks. You know, it was an old house back then, and it shook anytime like the helicopters next door at Hunter would come over and everything. The house would shake and everything, and it wasn't that. But they said that the Moss Man, or what he was nicknamed that, was because after he would kill his victims and stuff, he wouldn't bury them, but he would cover them with moss. So he became known as the Moss Man. So the Moss Man that's supposedly how he got his name. That's the way it was told to me. If anybody knows about that over in the Apache area, Mohawk and all that, let me know. But I will tell you a funny story about over there. So me and my cousins used to love watching the Dukes of Hazzard. So when the Dukes of Hazzard came out, we loved it. They decided, and I can't believe they did this because as mean as my Uncle Horace was, because he beat them, he beat them guys. And if he ate his, the food that was in the refrigerator, like or if they ate all the little Debbies or something, he'd make them eat every one of them. It was just mean, stuff. So anyways, going back to it. So my cousins decided, I spent the night with them on Friday night, and so we watched the Dukes of Hazzard. Remember, Dukes of Hazzard come on Friday nights. So we talked about Dukes and who was going to be Cooter and who was going to be, Bo and who was going to be Luke and, and all this stuff. So my three cousins decided to steal the keys from their mama's purse. And she had this old Dorado, I think it was, or something. Anyways, I remember it was red. And they said, come on, Boo, we're going to go to the store and get some candy. So I was like, all right, I was a little kid. I was, 7 or 8. So I can remember back then the front seat went all the way across. There was no bucket seats or anything. This seat went all the way across. And then there was a big roomy and it was, back in the back. So I can remember him backing up. I want to say, sorry about that, nose position. I want to say my cousin Peanut was driving the car. And I think John was doing the brake and maybe Joe was down there, or something. So they put it in reverse. I was in the back seat and I was kind of hunched over the front seat, kind of with my arms folded across and kind of leaning over and standing up. Back then there was no car seats or anything like that. So I was excited. We was going to go get some candy. We were going to get the little chocolate footballs. You remember those? Those were great. So anyway, so he's backing out and everything, and he goes to come back, and he gets scared, and he decides he don't think he can drive the car. So he starts to pull back in because they start talking about what are we going to do if Horace wakes up. So we start coming, and there was a pretty long little road to the house. Well, coming down the road there, we were doing about 10 miles an hour. And I remember Peanut yelling, hurry up, I think he's up. I think I saw him. So my cousin hits the gas. He pushes the gas with his hands, with both hands. And when he do, we take off. And we're probably doing about 40 miles an hour. And I hear him yelling, brake. And I'm just looking over the front. And we hit that old house. And when we hit that old house, I remember we knocked it off the cylinder blocks. And I went flying over the front seat, down into the floorboard of the front seat. And Peanut and everybody hit the front and smashed it. And I remember hurt his nose and everything. True story. I remember we hit the house so hard, we knocked it off the cylinder blocks, and we knocked Horace's drunk butt off out of the bed. He came out there with a belt, just a swinging and everything, and we took off running. True story. We ran all the way down to my grandma and grandpa's house on Apache. It's a true story. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. All right, so back to ghost stories. So I don't know if y'all remember the Terra Cinemas. So the Terra Cinemas, which used to be the old Y Cinemas over in Windsor Forest area, over there where Harbor Freight is now. So where Harbor Freight is, that was not the Terra Cinemas, but right over there is a storage place, and that used to be the Terra Cinemas. The Harbor Freight area used to be like Starship Records and Tapes. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was a lot of good stuff. And so anyway, so the Terra Cinemas been there forever. And I can remember, going to see lots of movies there. I had friends who always worked there from Windsor, would let us in, give us free popcorn and stuff like that. Well, one day I was supposed to go with some friends and they didn't show up. And I was going to go watch the remake of Nightmare of the Living Dead. This was back in 1990 or 91. So they said, hey, we're showing it, but it's going to be shown in the big area back where the balconies were. And I was like, oh, cool, sweet. And they said, but don't sit up at the top because there's not a whole lot of people in there. And there's been some weird stuff going on up at the top. Well, I didn't think nothing about it. But I remember there was a couple guys up there and they were drinking. And back then you could bringing, smuggling some alcohol pretty cheap. And I can remember hearing the liquor bottle roll down, make this old, and it would roll down, and then I could hear them giggling. Well, then I remember the movie was probably about halfway, and I remember something caught my eye, and I looked over at the curtains, and I heard the two guys up top, and one of them yelled, "Holy crap," but the other word, "Did you see that?" And I had kind of seen it, but I wasn't going to say nothing. And then they got louder, and I thought just because they had been drinking or something like that. So I got up and went to go refill the popcorn thing there because I got free popcorn. So I was trying to hurry up and go down there. When I came back, those two guys were coming out of the theater and leaving, and they were both, pretty shaken or whatnot. So I'm the only one in the theater. Nothing else happened. Finished what was going on. I came back. My buddy had came and said, "Hey man, come here." And I thought we were going to get in trouble because, I'd snuck in. And so I went to him. He said, "Hey man, I don't think you want to stay in here." And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Them two guys that was in here." I said, "Yeah." They said they reported seeing a man behind the curtains. And when they went to check it out, there was nobody there. So he said the one guy was leaning over the balcony and the other one was down there checking it out, and there was nobody there. So he came back and come back up on the balcony. I'm trying to hurry up with the story. So he came up to the to the balcony again. And while he was up there, he just said, the guy came back, and this time it kind of peeked out of the little curtain thing, and there's these red god awful curtains, and he peeked out and looked over and then went back. So he said both of them went down there, and said when they pulled it back, there was an image of a black man standing there, and he just let out a bad scream at him. I asked him, I said, "Well, what'd they say?" I come here and said, "Well, what'd they say?" He said, "I don't know, man." He said, "But it scared the crap out of them dudes." I said, "Well, them dudes was drinking. I think they just saw something that while they were drinking." And he said, "No, man, I know these dudes. These guys come in, every so often, and they always come in drinking. Never had a problem. But I will tell you that those guys never went back. I didn't see anybody back there, but I remember that story being told at the old Terror." Some other people had talked about seeing some shadows and stuff at the old Terror cinemas. If you got any stories about the Terror cinema, let me know. I do know Margaret DeBolt. When I used to meet with her and talk to her about a lot of stuff, she said that Windsor Forest had more ghosts than a lot of people realize. So I've been doing some research in her book to bring you some of those stories. Want to check those out. So hope you're enjoying it tonight. Again, for some of y'all that are just joining, I don't feel comfortable talking about the story I wanted to talk about tonight. I had prepared for it, but I had a really bad dream last night and woke up, and it just felt too weird, and it didn't feel right to tell this story tonight. So I apologize. And the other thing was, I was going to surprise everybody by being on Ghost Road tonight, but with the weather being bad, it didn't work out. So I apologize. But we will get started. I will tell you that we're going to probably be having a more professional show coming up here as soon as the stuff comes in. We are working on the other interviews. Again, for those of y'all that didn't see last night, we will have Jimmy Dempster, who's been in a lot of movies and horror movies and stuff. He'll be going live with us, like on Zoom. And then talk to my buddy Mike Christopher. He played in one of the most famous horror movies, Dawn of the Dead. He's going to be doing an interview with us there and talking about his time doing the movie and what he does. He still dresses up as one of the characters and stuff and goes to a lot of conventions. And then Butch Patrick. Talk to Butch Patrick. Butch, if you're watching, I know you like to watch in the shadows and watch the videos later. So my buddy Butch Patrick from the Munsters is going to be going live with us as well. Send in some questions or ask any questions when we're going live. We'll be glad to answer these. Hope everybody's will enjoy those interviews. Margarita White's Cordiano, how you doing? Tristendo's here. Thank you. So if you're still listening and I haven't bored you, give me a thumbs up here, and let's do some question and answers. Does that sound good, Moody? So we're going to do some questions and answers real quick. So I want to answer any questions that you guys have for the next 5 minutes. So go ahead and ask away. I think this might be like a little 1 minute delay, so it might take a minute for me to read your questions and then reply back. So, hey, thanks to everybody for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Shadow thanks you too. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. These are some really scary, scary stories here my dad tells. Okay, so no questions? None at all? Nobody's got any questions here? Shadow, why are you looking at me like that? So I will tell you something funny. So today when I was talking to Tim Hawking, I said, hey, ask Cindy if she wants to go on live with me and talk about some ghost stuff. And he wrote back, no way. All right, so let's just start. Buddy Grayson is going to be our first question. Says, have you seen Jigs at the Scottish Rite? Yes, I've seen Jigs multiple times. Jigs was the old security guard that we used to have at the Scottish Rite building. For a lot of y'all that remember him, when you first came in, you had to not really check in, but he would sit there and make sure people from the street, from downtown would come in the building and, mess things up. So he had his own little desk and everything. But yes, Jigs. So old man Jigs, I love him. I miss him. He would get tired sometimes. And when he would, he'd have this special knock that he would kind of do for me and let me know, hey, I'm leaving. So I would know the lock up and, make sure everything was fine. But I used to hear him walking down the hallway. If for y'all that don't know, on the third floor of the Scottish Rite, which you will see when we start doing the videos that we're editing and whatever. We'll give a shout out to Chris Bragg again. He's helping edit that stuff. I could hear somebody walking. The treasurer's desk was right next to the side door, and there was this long hallway that went all the way down and would lead out to the anteroom. The anteroom is where we would prepare candidates and stuff. So anyways, this long hallway would go all the way down there, and it had these old wooden floors, and you could hear like shuffling, and Jigs like to shuffle his feet, not cards. So he would shuffle it down, and I could hear him, and then I promise you, he would do this knock that we used to do that we know, and I think it was Jigs. Did I ever see Jigs? Yes, I saw him a couple times. Other people have seen Jigs. Lusher, sir, have you ever seen Jigs? One of the times I saw him, I was getting on the elevator, and when you get on the elevator, you have to, you turn around to wait for the door to close, and when the door was closing, I saw him for like 2 seconds. True. I also saw him one time on the 5th floor, I want to say. I guess he was making his rounds. He was coming around the corner and just disappeared. Right when he was going into it. Lusher Sir said he's seen Jigs twice. Yeah. Pretty spooky. So Jigs was a kind old man, great guy, spooky. I will tell you, while we were doing some recording at the Scottish Rite, that again our batteries drained, the sound messed up. So we kind of had to do some re-recording of the sound on some of the stuff. Was it supernatural? Don't know. Maybe. I will tell you that there was nothing wrong when we were testing it and doing it and doing other areas. But some areas there, nope. Just wouldn't work. I also took a picture of the gentleman that I saw. I finally saw a picture of this gentleman that was looking down with the beard that I've been telling y'all about. And when I took the photos from different angles, it's not showing up real well. There's like a glare on it or something, but there was no glare coming in, and every other face you can see, but you can't see him. And I took it from like 3 or 4 different angles, just to make sure I was getting good, separate pictures and things. But either he doesn't want his picture taken or something's wrong with my phone. I'll let you decide. So let's see here. Cindy says she is shy. Yes, we are all shy. And believe it or not, I am very shy. But, to me, it's just like talking in my car, singing when I live in. I love to sing. Let's see. Trevor asked, favorite soul food. So my favorite soul food would probably have to be, of course, collard greens with vinegar or pepper vinegar. My grandpa used to, serve it to us. My grandpa at night, and we'd eat it. We'd eat fat back with it and stuff. So yeah, we're a little country. So I would have to say collard greens, fried pork chops, lima beans, and I've shucked many a corn and a lot of peas back then. So let's see, Buddy said the same thing, shuffling the feet and the apparition of an older man. Yes, a lot of people said they have seen that. Brother Brian Krebs, glad you are here. Let's see, Cindy Hawkins, is the Warmslow haunted? I don't know. I have read some things, but before I kind of report on that, I want to do a little bit more investigations. I like to cut to the chase on a lot of these stories. A lot of it, is a lot of repetition and a lot of history on stuff. Again, I'm not a historian. I will kind of tell you when something was built or when something supposedly had happened there. Somebody had asked the other night about the ghost of Renee at Bonaventure. Yeah, so spooky stuff. And I'm putting that together for you guys so y'all can hear about that. I will tell you, is Bonaventure haunted? Yes. Yep. There's been a lot of stories of when the old plantation was there. Oh, Shadow has decided to leave. Thank you, Shadow. So the old plantation, there was a big party out there, okay? And there was a huge party and a dinner party and whatnot, and it caught fire. And they decided to move the party outside. And as the fire was burning, they decided to have toast and say, let us always remember this night. And they toasted and they drank, and then they threw their glasses up against these big oak trees that are out there. And it's supposedly said that at nights and things like that, you can hear the breaking of glass on the oak trees out there. By them, they were doing the toasting of that night. So let's do something real quick. Let's give away one of these patches here. So the first person that can answer correctly will get one of these patches here. And all you got to do is inbox me your address and I will mail it to you. So first patch, first question. What year did the original John Carpenter Halloween movie come out? Okay, so while we're waiting on an answer for that, let's see, the first person that answers will get that. Let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about favorite horror movies. So who's got a favorite horror movie out there? And we'll give you our 2 cents on it. Or who has seen a good horror movie lately? With the whole COVID-19, there was supposed to be some horror movies coming out, and I think some of them got pushed back this summer and whatnot. I'll tell you a good horror movie that I saw recently, and it was good. Let's see. Trevor says 86. Nope. Cindy Hawking says 1975. Nope. Sorry. I appreciate y'all guessing, though. I mean, hang in there. There's going to be 1978. Sean Cochran got it. Yes. 1978. I was 6 years old. And I see David Armstrong said 1971. No. I think that was the 13th precinct that John Carpenter did back then. Those of y'all that don't know, John Carpenter did Precinct 13. That was the first time a kid was ever killed in a movie or murdered. Yeah. And then he said, all the interviews that I've ever seen him do, I was even at the questioning at one of his events. They asked what was one thing he regretted out of all his movies, and he said was having the scene of the little girl getting killed in the movie. He said that he wished he had never did it because it was pretty brutal. Not cool. Sean, yes, loved that movie too. So one of the movies that I saw recently here, and it's free right now. I think it's free on HBO or something, but it's called Crawl. And if you like alligators, I love alligators. There's a, huh? Well, you hated it? You didn't say that in the movies. You said you liked it. You screamed like a little girl, too. What? So the movie is called Crawl. And it's about down in Key West or something like that, I think. Down in Florida, Miami maybe, somewhere down in there. Seminole about somewhere around there. Anyways, there's a hurricane coming. This girl is trying to check on her dad, and I'm not going to give it away, but let's just say on her way down there, and when she gets to the house, the hurricane is hitting. The house is kind of getting flooded. Check it out. It's called Crawl. So check out Crawl. If you're looking for a good movie tonight to watch and get scared, to me, it has some very, very scary parts, and I love alligators. They scare me. It's called Crawl. Now, let's see. We got a question here. Trevor says, it's been a while, but sanatorium. Sanatorium. I hear you, Shadow. Sanatorium, I believe, is what it's called. It's like a docu-horror. Best way to describe it. A few years old, but really good. I will check it out. Cindy Hawking says, that was good. Yeah, you saw Crawl. It was good, wasn't it? It was good. And I told people, hey, this is a good horror movie. And they were like, come on, man. Alligators. I was like, it was good. If you like Lake Placid, if you like alligator movies, Lake Placid is kind of like a one of those black comedy horror movies. If you like that, it's good movie. Great movie. I loved it. Sean Cochran says, let's see, have never heard of that, but definitely piqued his interest. Yeah, about Crawl. Watch it. It's called Crawl. And if you haven't seen Lake Placid, I highly recommend Lake Placid. Let's see. Trevor says, oh, and another one was Lights Out. Yeah, I saw Lights Out. Lights Out was really good. That's the one kind of when you cut the lights out, I think, or something. Yeah. And yeah, I remember that. And yeah, I want to give it away, but it's good. It's good. It's good horror movie. So, you know, the other horror movies there, you know, is Primal and those there with the alligators. Love alligators. Moody, I think, hates alligators because what? Her 18th birthday, we went to Orlando and we were going to Disney World. And one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to go to Gatorland. Well, I forgot it was her 19th birthday. I didn't forget. Huh?
I think it was 18th, wasn't it?
I don't know. I think you were 19, but it might have been 18.
Yeah.
So we went there and I was like, hey, let's go to Gatorland. And yeah, she hated it. So ever since then, she has hated alligators. And it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to take you to Gatorland for your birthday. It wasn't like that. I was taking her down there already for Disney World and everything. We already went to Disney World. Gatorland was cheaper. So I'm not going to lie. Yeah, so if you've never been to Gatorland down in Kissimmee, Florida, in Orlando, check it out. Tiffany will say otherwise, but yeah, so let's see a couple other questions here. I see Sean says, I see Trevor. Sean, we're good. Another one. Yeah. So, some other horror movies, but before we get that, and I want to try to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Again, I apologize for not having the story I wanted to do, but I got to build up the courage for that one. And you'll see why. So let's give away another patch. Okay, so let's give away another patch. And you can only win one patch tonight. I'm sorry, I only got 3. That was donated by Robert Madrano in Embroidery City. So, but whoever wins a patch will be eligible to win one of these cool hats. So keep watching. We should be done here in about 10 minutes, y'all. I do apologize. Dave Armstrong. Yeah, you my man. You my dog. He loves Gatorland. Went every year when he was a kid. Yeah, I got pictures of me too. I think there's one in the room there. I will post that bad boy. So I got a picture when I was a little kid when we went. I got a picture when me and Moody went. And a lot of times we go down, I kind of joke when we're like, hey, you want to go to Gatorland? And she's like, yeah, just like that. So, okay. Time for a giveaway. Okay. This one's going to be an easy one. What is the movie Crawl about? First right answer wins the patch. Yep. So while we're waiting on an answer for that one, like I say, it was going to be really easy. Let's see. Sean Cochran, 1980. The Changeling starring George C. Scott still brings chills. The sound effects really make that movie spooky. David Armstrong, you win this patch, the COVID-19 patch. Good job, buddy. Yes, it's about the Gators. Cindy, I'm sorry. Lusher Sir Dave beat you to it. Lusher Sir Dave beat you to it. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. So, let's talk about some movies that kind of scared you, or what scared me when I was a kid, and maybe some of y'all saw this. There was a movie, I can't remember quite the title, but I can, and this is why to this day, I will never, ever, I don't care where I'm at a hotel, at home, it doesn't matter. If I'm sleeping, my hand and my arm will not hang off the side of the bed. Never. Nope. And the reason why is because there was this little girl, and something happened. I don't know if these were aliens or what they were, little demons, but they all looked like her. Okay, she had like blonde hair. She's probably about 8 years old. God, I can't remember. The Brood. That's it. It's called The Brood. It's like 1970 something. And back then when I was a kid, it scared the crap out of me. Oh, I'm sorry. I called you Lester, sir. I'm sorry, Dave. This is Dave the Second. I'm sorry, Dave. But you still win the patch. Sorry for the wrong title. It was called The Brood, and there was a bunch of these little girls that looked like her, but didn't look like their faces were kind of droopy, and their eyes were kind of real black, and they would murder people, and there was like a whole bunch. It was a brood, and they would kill them. Anyways, this guy was going to sleep, and I remember I was probably like 7 or 8 years old when I'm watching this movie. Anyway, so the guy's sleeping, and his arm hangs down off the side of the bed. Not going to tell you everything, so check it out. That's why my hand and my arm does not go off the side of the bed anymore. Don't care where I'm at. Never, never, ever, ever, forever, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 never will that happen. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. So, there's another scary movie I used to watch. It was called Scanners. It's about aliens and stuff. Really, really spooky. So real quick here, I want to ask you guys a question. So aliens, I was watching this show last night before I went to bed. It's called Hangar One. It's on Netflix, and it talked about aliens. My cousins, my Uncle Rick, y'all heard me talk about him. He's passed away. He was stationed down in Homestead, Florida. I used to go down there. So back when Nixon was president, I want to say they said 1970 something, maybe 72, 74, something like that. Anyways, watch it. It's Hangar One, and it's about MUFON, who are the expert UFO researchers. Good stuff, man. They got some good stuff. So Richard Nixon decides to go to he's got a home down in Homestead, Florida. And while he's down there, his good buddy, Jackie Gleason, lives in Miami. And Jackie Gleason and Richard Nixon were big time into aliens, right? Big time. Richard Nixon is documented everywhere how much involved he was with aliens and stuff and everything. So long story short is he went and picked up Jackie Gleason and said, no security, no Secret Service. He got Jackie Gleason and said, hey, I want to show you something. So they drive down to Homestead, Florida, and they get on base. And when the guard gets there, he can't believe that Richard Nixon is driving this car. And he lets him in. They go in through the back of the freezers. And there are these huge, like, glass container things. And they're down on the bottoms and stuff. And Jackie Gleason goes in there, and he looks down, and he can't believe what he sees. His wife, Jackie Gleason's wife, says that Jackie Gleason was so much in shock that he didn't really talk or eat for like 3 weeks because he didn't know why the government was keeping this from us. It's creepy. It's creepy. Some other good stories in there too, man. I don't want to give everything away, but that's one of them. You need to check it out. It's called Hangar. So again, if you like UFOs, Fire in the Sky. Do y'all remember Fire in the Sky, based on a true story about the logger who was abducted, and they thought that his buddies that were loggers too or whatever killed him, and then he showed up like 3 days later, 4 days later, something like that, or whatever, and he talked about his abduction. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there other than Fire in the Sky documentaries, and I want to say Zach Baggins with Ghost Adventures even did an interview with him, and it's pretty creepy, man. And his story has never changed. Him or any of those other guys, their stories have never changed. Sorry, no margarita tonight. Maybe next Saturday. So, what'd you say, Moody?
Mothman Prophecy.
The Mothman Prophecies. Moody loves that movie. Yeah, Sean Cochran, you're right. Yep, it's out in Arizona. It's called Fire in the Sky. It's great. Mothman, The Mothman Prophecies. Great movie with Richard Gere. Kind of loosely based on what was going on. But if you do the research and you look at some of these old shows about the actual journalist that was a part of this and about the weird stuff that happened to this guy, during this whole time, him reporting on the Mothman, getting the late night phone calls, them seeing this Mothman. If you Google him, there's tons of paranormal shows out there on the Mothman. One of them, I think, is the Fear of the Woods or Scared of the Woods or something. There's a couple called Woods like that, like Fear of the Woods, Terror in the Woods. So long story short is, there's one couple had went there and it followed them. It followed them home, and it terrorized them pretty bad. And they had to go back, and it's creepy. Anna DeVoe is watching. Thank you for watching. So, going to give away the third and final COVID-19 patch. Yeah, it looks good, don't it? Whoops, sorry. And if it's backwards, I'm sorry. I'll learn how to do the flip phone thing soon. I apologize, everybody. So, want to give away a patch, the third and final patch, and then we'll give away one of these cool hats provided by Embroidery City. So, Moody, what should we do? Good trivia question. What you think? Okay, so here's one for you. I don't want to make it too easy. Yeah, no, that's dumb. For those of y'all that didn't hear, Moody said, what's her favorite rock and roll band? That is not the question for tonight, so I apologize for that dumb question. All right, so here we go. For those of y'all, this is going to be for somebody that's been following the podcast and things like that. What did I encounter at Forest Cove? It was a creature at Forest Cove in Georgetown. So anybody that's been watching all these here, you've heard me talk about this creature a few times that I witnessed firsthand. I will swear on the Bible, I'll take a lie detector test, and I will promise you this is true. Just waiting to see if anybody remembers the creature. So sometimes, yeah, man, you guys got to remember, maybe I made this one too hard, but you got to remember sometimes I'll go back on old podcasts or interviews I did and see if anybody can get this thing here. Swamp Man, close, buddy. It's close. Not the Swamp Man, but really, 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 really close. I will give you a hint. No, it's not Bigfoot. I've never seen Bigfoot. That's on my bucket list. I saw a character, and then about a month or two later, it came out in South Carolina, in Bishopville, South Carolina, if y'all remember. Nope, not Moss Man. Moss Man was back there. No, not Swamp Thing. Close. Y'all are so close. No, not Slender Man. Oh, no. I don't want to see Slender Man. Dave, what's up, Flavor Dave? So the question, Dave, I think I just saw you come in. Sasquatch? No, I've never seen a Sasquatch, a Yeti, an abominable snowman, a Bigfoot. None of that. But what I saw back in 1987, I think about a lot. I think about it all the time. Gator Man, close. You are so close. So close, illustrious sir. Not Gator Man. But I will give you a hint again. He was seen about a month or two later in Bishopville, South Carolina. Lizard Man, you got it. Yeah, I saw the Lizard Man. True story. Trevor got it right. Yes, I saw the Lizard Man before he was called the Lizard Man. True story. All right, so it's getting kind of late because I started late. Just want to thank everybody again for watching. We appreciate everybody donating equipment and things. If you're late getting here, illustrious Sir Buddy Grayson, his lady Laura, donated the ghost box. This cool shirt that you see from Embroidery City, it says Scaremaster Patrick. It's got a cool little like logo type patch, and it's got his patch here. Of course, I will be proud. And he also made a cool hat. Donated those for us to give away tonight. So thank you. And no, you will not be getting one of this hat that's on my head. You'll be getting one just like it. So don't worry about it. You know, be like, oh, what if you had, bugs or like, no, I don't have any of that. But so I do have another hat in the other room that he donated. So that will be coming on. Want to give a shout out to Tim and Cindy Hawking for donating the green screen. We're going to have a lot of fun with that thing. I want to thank my dad for buying another camera. And I want to thank the anonymous donor for the EVP recorder. We need one more EVP recorder. I want to thank my brother from another mother, Shannon, for donating some funds to help us to get some of the other equipment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you look on there, anybody wants to donate or purchase one of these items, inbox me. I'll give you the address and everything. It's very inexpensive stuff. We need another EVP recorder. If you look on the Scaremaster site, it's up there. Also, we need an EMF detector. EMF is, electronic motion whatnot. It gives a reading of magnetism and things like that out in the air, anything that's out there. There was something else that we wanted. There was another type of ghost box thing or something, but it's called a rim box or something like that. But really all we need, there was the microphone that was there. So a microphone, another EVP recorder, and there was microphone, EVP recorder, the EMF meter. Very inexpensive stuff. So if you take a look and you want to buy this off of Prime, Amazon Prime or whatever, let me know. And it's very cheap, and we're going to get cooking here. Just wait. It's getting better. Thanks everybody. So closing tonight, again, check out the movie Crawl if you haven't. Now I'm going to watch a movie tonight, so let's have some fun. So there's a movie called Midsommar, something like that. I think it's on Prime TV. Really it's supposed to be really, really good. I'm gonna be checking that out. Hey, Shannon Bill, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Listen, we're not begging or asking anybody for this stuff. So people have asked, y'all want to come along and be a part of it? Hey, great. We will have some t-shirts coming up soon. So I want to tell you right now, any of the t-shirts I sell or any type of merchandise or anything like that, none of it will be for profit. It will either be put back in to buy some more advanced equipment or programs so that we can do some of these things. But so far, I've picked like 4 organizations that I like to donate any proceeds that we get from shirts or hats or cups or anything like that. That'll say, Scaremaster on there. The first one, of course, is next to children as animals. So like the Humane Society, something like that, something to do with animals. We'll donate a portion of the proceeds of that. We're going to donate some of the proceeds, a portion of the proceeds to local shrine, meaning A-Lee, and it'll be up to the either potentate or first lady to decide whatever they want to do. This will be a donation from the Scaremaster, me, not the Haunted House Club, nothing to do with an A-Lee person or anything like that. That's why I created this. 2 other ones. One of them is going to be the Wounded Warrior Project. So Wounded Warriors, the vets are very, very close to my heart. So are the kids, so are the animals. And the last one, of course, is probably going to be the homeless here in Savannah, helping them. I've got too big of a heart. I wish I could give to everybody. We may add 1 or 2 as we're going along here. But, hey, every little penny will help. any of these proceeds. Like I say, I do not do this for profit. If somebody's doing this to get rich, you're in it for the wrong thing. I do it because I love it. I enjoy telling the stories. I love to talk, and I love to do these type of things. And I want to donate. Some of y'all saw my story about what's the man's name? The little dog Scrappy.
Oh, Danny.
Danny and the little dog Scrappy. We have not seen them in several months. I don't know if it's due to COVID-19. Some of y'all that saw some of my Facebook pages, it touched my heart. I spent every penny I had before I started my new job to help buy him stuff that he needed for him and his little dog. So that's why I want to help the homeless and stuff with this stuff. Let's see. Papa Smurf is watching. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Trevor says, do you need any specific brand? No, just hit me up. Inbox me, Trevor, and I'll be glad to hit you. For those of y'all that don't know Moody's favorite band, she wants me to tell y'all, she'd give me dirty looks. Bon Jovi. Yeah, it's burning my tongue to say that. But see, Dave says, Dave and Cheryl, and I'm sorry, I don't have my glass. Dave and Cheryl and I will donate the EMF recorder. Oh, awesome. Thanks, brother. It's on the site there. I'll inbox you too. I'll send you my address or whatnot. Thank y'all so much, Brother Dave and Lady Cheryl. We really, really appreciate it, and we will put it to good use. You'll also get to see this equipment as we are going on investigations and things and doing this. So thank y'all. Let's see. So real quick here. So it's time to give away a hat. Okay. Time to give away a hat. I know it's pretty cool, huh? I want to, think you did a good job. Got some other times coming up here. Let's see. Moody says, thank you to everyone. Yes, thank you. Buddy Ray says, everyone knows that you give love a bad name. No comment.
Go ahead, buddy.
All right. So, to give away this hat here, I've been thinking, kind of stalling on something we could do here. And this one is going to be easy. Okay? This one's going to be easy. The first person to answer this gets a free hat. Again, I will contact all winners in an inbox and say, hey, just give me your address. If you don't feel comfortable, give me your address. We can meet sometime next week or whatever. I'll get it to you. Brother Sean Cochran, you're supposed to still hit me up. Tell me where your favorite restaurant is so I can get you that $10 gift certificate to the restaurant of your choice. So for answering that one question. So this is going to be a very, very easy question. Now, Brother Robbie Moore, how's it going? Now, here we go. There is an item that I cannot find. It's a two-part question. You got to get both of them right. There is an item that I cannot find that is haunted and is haunting a certain place right now. So, first part question, you got to get both of them right. First part question, what is the item called? Second, where is this item lost and what is it haunting? So pretty much, what is the item? Second part, what is it haunting? What is it haunting? What is supposedly haunted? What's up, Brother Robbie Moore? How you doing, Cookie? Oh, Dave got it right. Oh, man, Dave got it right. You the man. Yep, it's the Dybbuk box. We're not going to take off for spelling. We're not like Alex Trebek. Dave got it right. Yeah, and it's in the haunted house. You're right. And Trevor, man, you're so close. I tell you what, Trevor, since you were so fast and close, man, I will see about getting you a hat. Okay, brother? I just got to get a couple more made. Lester, sir, buddy got it. Dave beat you, brother. Beat y'all just by a few little... Thank y'all so much. Congratulations. Trevor, I will see about getting you a hat. Illustrious sir, you know I'm going to get you a hat, brother. Because you're my dog, man. Thank you again for everybody for watching. I hope you're staying safe. What a crazy world we live in. As you know, I don't get political on here, so I don't get involved in the outside world on things that is happening. However, there was some good stuff that happened today. If y'all didn't watch, SpaceX launched the rocket. Y'all know I like aliens. Hopefully some good information will come back for that. So it's going to be coming back. Also, let's see. So SpaceX happened. My dad cooked a big low country bowl for my niece Haley, my nephew Lane, and my nephew Cameron. So it was a good day. We had a great day. Brother Robert and his lady came out and ate a little bit of low country bowl while they dropped off the items for the night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wash those hands. Let's save Halloween. Yeah, Trevor, I'm gonna hook you up, bro. But Lusher, sir, you my dog. Get Moody to do the Sasquatch. Moody.
Woo!
She's getting a little better. She's getting a little better. So we're going to try that again. We're going to try that soon, y'all. Again, let's save Halloween, y'all. Also, shout out to all the haunts out there. Ailey Haunted Terror Plantation, Haunted House. We got Moose Lodge, Haunted Forest. We got Wicked South Productions out in Rincon. And if there's any I missed, I'm sorry. But I want to start giving shots out to these guys. We're going to be doing live at some of these locations, hopefully, and let them do some talking and whatnot. We're going to have a good time. Everybody stay safe. Let's save Halloween. Watch the movie Crawl tonight if you can, or Midsommar tonight. I'm going to watch it. I have not seen it. We'll talk about it and discuss it. Thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's keep everything spooktacular. As Brother Robbie says, love, peace, and chicken grease. And as always, we hope to scare you there. Good night.